Let's put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Heavenly Father, we come to you in this hour, asking for your guidance and protection to our virtual gathering today. We thank you for the gift of life, the gift of family, the gift of work, and the gift of friendship. We thank you for this great opportunity to bring us together in this session as brothers and sisters. Bless the community, the facilitator, and the attendees of this gathering. May we continue to value and appreciate the true essence and meaning of life with the help of your grace. And as we go along our discussion today, we humbly pray that you would deepen our understanding. Lord, enlighten us and give us wisdom every day. Forgive us for our shortcomings and remind us to always be mindful of the things we do in life. We offer our life and our decisions to you, O Lord. May this gathering today create a memorable experience and a fruitful outcome. We ask this through our Lord Jesus Christ, our Redeemer and our Savior. Amen.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesday of learning about the works in setting up assessment using varied question types in mySOUL. So thank you for joining us this afternoon. Without further ado, let us call our resource speaker this afternoon. He is a licensed professional teacher, and he is currently working as a training specialist at the Office of Silliman Online University Learning, OSOL, at the Silliman University. So let us all welcome Mr. Fredley P. Bokog. Sir Fred, you may now take the floor.
Thank you so much, Sir Steve. So for now, I would like to share my screen first regarding our training for this day. Okay, good day, educators. So I will be training on the using varied question types in mySOUL. Particularly, this is a continuation regarding featuring the assessment part in mySOUL. So I will be featuring the enumeration type and then the labeling type. And what are the available mySOUL question types? So this training is divided into two parts. So the first part, we will first tackle on the enumeration type. and then the available question type in mySOUL, and then followed by the labeling type and the available question type in mySOUL. So first, let us define the enumeration type of tests. So enumeration type is done by enumerating particular answers to a particular question. So enumeration types of exam, quiz, or test do not require you to answer in order. So meaning you can answer an enumeration exam in any order of all possible answers. So here in mySOUL, we will use the simple question type that is called essay. So which means that the teacher manually check the learner's response to that specific question. So the basic enumeration type is example here, as displayed in the screen. So enumeration like computer system. So give what is being asked. So that is the general instruction. And then you will proceed right away with the question like give at least 3 input devices or at least 3 output devices. In that case, the response area now indicates we have the text editor. So since that is essay question type in mySOUL, so a text editor, so that pertains to the response area of the learners where they will input their responses. So that will be the very basic enumeration type. And then if you want to go more about the detailed enumeration type, you can also incorporate rubrics in your enumeration type. So here you have your enumeration instruction, and then here you enumerate the computer. For example, you enumerate the 3 components of computer system and briefly discuss it. This is more on objective because you have a specific scoring, so you can include rubrics for that. So the same as the basic enumeration type, they will allow us or to give us the text editor option, like this one in the circle. So that pertains to the response area where the learners write their responses about the question. So again, in enumeration type, our mySOUL question type, we will use the essay part. So which means the teacher manually check the learner's response. So to put that in action, so I will demo regarding the enumeration type. So here, for instance, I will share my screen. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay. So here is the screen for enumeration type. So I would like to display a simple output for the enumeration part. So I will show this one. I have prepared enumeration type so that you can see the overview of our training for enumeration type. So let's take the enumeration type quiz, for example. This is the view for the student or the student's view. So just click on the quiz, for instance. Okay, a student will attempt the quiz. This is in enumeration type. So start the attempt. So this will be the enumeration type. In our mySOUL platform, we will use the essay. And take note that you can see the points. Of course, basically you have your instruction and you can see the markings. So that pertains to the highest possible score of that particular item. So in this case, this is the basic enumeration wherein you will put your instructions and then your question. And then here, This is what we call the response area, wherein the learners will respond or put their answer to that question. So example here, that is word for 3 points and then 3 points. So that's word for 6 points. So again, this is in essay type. And then for example, I will proceed to the next question. And here, this is another enumeration type. In here, this is more on explaining for that particular term. So example, what are the 3 components of computer system, and briefly discuss it. So you have your rubric on how they formulate their responses with specific highest possible score. So this is worth 30 points, and you can also see the markings worth 30 points. So again, this is very easy. This is more on essay question type in our mySOUL. So again, in enumeration type, the teacher will manually check the learner's response. So now let's proceed to the teacher mode. So this is the student mode. Okay, let's see the teacher's mode in doing the enumeration. Okay, so here again, in enumeration or type of test, you will select a particular section that you want your enumeration will be displayed. So example here, I will go to the assessment 3 section, and I will add, or I will create a learning activity. So just click the create learning activity, and then you go to activities tab and look for quiz icon. So click on quiz, and then you give it a name for the quiz. So example, this is more on enumeration exam. And then you have your general instruction for enumeration. General instructions, and then you display description on course page. If you are still making your examination, so the visibility, you should hide from students. The timing, if you have a specific date and time. So for example, I have no date and time. So here I will use this one. This is more on formative tests. So I do not have up the date and time. So I will set this as a time limit. Example, they will answer that in 25 minutes. And then here, the grade. So you click on grade. And then if that's your, again, it's up to you on how the quiz is been, or what type of quiz it's. Is it informative or summative, or what type of assessment? So in this case, I will give this assessment as formative assessment. So in this case, the attempts are unlimited, and then the grading method is the highest grade will be recorded. And then the layout, so it's up to you. And then the question behavior, and then the review options. Since this is enumeration type, so the teacher needs to check it manually, the responses of the learners. So here, you can just reveal that after, okay, immediately after the attempt. So you will mark the marks, so that pertains to the score. So you will display the score if that is been recorded or that is been checked by your teacher. If not, so there is a marking there that not yet graded if not checked by your teacher. And then here we have the appearance. Okay, you can add a particular profile pic or small image. So again, it's up to the teacher. And then the restriction and so on. So here the last part is activity completion. So activity completion, so you need to show activity as complete when conditions are met. Okay, so student must view this particular activity to complete it. So again, this is basically I'm just reviewing you regarding the quiz management or how to make a quiz. So again, you have your name, you have your description, the visibility is hide from students, the timing, so it's up to you if you have a specific time and date, and then the grade, and then the layout, and then question behavior, and so on. And then here, the appearance, and then don't forget the activity completion. So show activity as completed when conditions are met. So which means they will answer this particular quiz. And after that, you save and display. So we will now add the enumeration question. So we will click on the edit quiz. And then here, you will add question. So in enumeration type, so click add, and then you click the new question. And then you will pick the question type. So we will use the essay question type. So which means if you can see here, we have the indicator that it allows a response of a file or upload and or online text. So this must be graded manually. So you can click on the essay question type and then click the add button. And then you will have your question name. So it's just a keyword. So for example, this is essay enumeration 1. And then your questions or instruction. So for example, you have your enumeration. So here I will add Roman numeral enumeration. And then you can give here your instruction. Okay, for this one. And here, this is the question. So it's better if you have your file and then you'll just simply copy paste that question to the question text field. So example here, this is the question. Okay, this is the question. And then here, so let's put a blank here. For example here. So I have question now for the enumeration part. So give the 3 input devices. So here. And then you have your default mark in this part. So for example, the highest possible score that they will get this particular item is 3. So meaning they will just enumerate those particular questions needed. So there are 3 points, so 1 point each. And then here, you have here the default input box size is 15 lines, okay? So there will be a text editor available so they can format their responses. And then we have input box size is 15 lines. And then you can scroll down and then save changes. And then if you want to preview, so you just click the magnifying lens. And then here, this is the enumeration type in essay question type. So you have your question, and then you will just simply put the responses in the response area. So this is marked as 3 points. So that's how you create an enumeration type in our mySOUL platform. So questions or clarifications regarding enumeration type? Questions so far in enumeration type? I guess none. So again, I will give another example. So here, for the enumeration type, we will use the essay part. So just simply click the add and then a new question type. So we will pick the question type, which is essay, and then we will click the add button. And then here you give it a name for the question. So E2, so short for enumeration 2. So example, give at least 3 output devices in a computer. So here, that is your question, and then you give it a default mark. So if that is 3, so you just simply encode 3, or that is word for 10 points or 5 points. So you just click the default mark, so that pertains to the highest possible score in that particular item. And then you will just simply click save and this save changes. And here you go. The question for enumeration type is been displayed. So you just click the magnifying lens, and then here you can see the question and then the response area, and then you have the highest possible score, which is 3. So that is the enumeration type. So now let's proceed to the labeling type. Okay. So here we've done with the enumeration type. So we will go to the labeling type. So in labeling type, so it is an objective test in which the names of, so if, for example, parts of diagrams, maps, drawing or picture are to be indicated. So how to make a labeling type in our mySOUL platform? So how to construct the labeling type of test? So first is you make the diagram or map or drawing of a picture to be labels very clear and recognizable, especially the parts to be labeled. And second, the parts to be labeled should indicated by the arrows so that labels can be dragged in a definite place of the diagrams, maps, drawing, or picture. So in here, in the labeling type, we will use the two mySOUL question types, the drag and drop markers question type, and then the drag and drop onto image question type. So now I will show you the sample overview of the two question types in our mySOUL. The first one is we have the drag and drop markers. So in here, the drag and drop markers or drag and drop onto image is a functionality which users or learners can select an option, okay, and can move it to a desired location and drop it there. So for example, here in the drag and drop markers, we will use the marker options. So marker options, as you see, if this is enlarged of the choices, you can see we have example here, we have inner core. So this pertains to the markers, okay? So you can see here, the circle is like a target icon. You can see we have a circle with a plus icon. So that means that that is the target or the designated indicator that you will drop that particular choices to that specific selected area, or what we call the predefined areas in that particular diagrams, maps, or etc. So for example here, this is your structure in mySOUL. So you have your question. So example here, we have the labeling that is worth 4 points. And then this is the structure of the earth diagram. Drag labels onto the provided image. So this image or the structure of the earth diagram, so this pertains to the diagram, so which means a picture. So you need to integrate a picture. So you need to make that particular diagram, maps, or picture, and then you just simply properly label that one with an arrow, and then you have your specific selected area to be dropped on. So for example here, in this particular image, all we need to do is just simply drag this particular option or the marker options to that specific drop zone. So in the drag and drop markers, so basically we have predefined areas. It could be circle or rectangle or polygon. So we have 3. So we have, in this example, we use the rectangle. So we have a specific designated area to be dropped. So again, the indicator is that in this particular part, the only indicator is you have the target option. So if you drop this one inside this particular drop zone, make it sure that your target icon should be dropped with a specific selected area to be dropped on. So example, inner core, and then drop, you put that in the drop zone, and so on. So here, so basically in drag and drop markers, there is a definite selected area to be dropped regarding your choices. So that is in rectangle selected area. So if you want to have another example for drag and drop markers, we also have the circle, okay? So here, this is another drag and drop markers. So you have marker options, and then all you need to do is just simply drag the options to that specific predefined areas. So again, as you take a look in the first part, we use arrow icon, okay? We use arrow icon, and in order to see what this particular label is all about. So we have here the arrow icon, and then we have the rectangle, the drop zone. So meaning that the learners will just simply drag the choice and then drop that particular choice to the drop zone. And in here, so the learners will just simply drag this particular marker option to the specific or the predefined areas in circle. So again, the indicator is that they will just use the target icon in the drag and drop markers, the circle with 4 plus sign, so that pertains to the target option. And then they will just drag and then make it sure that they will hit that particular selected area in order to get the correct responses. So that is drag and drop markers. So to do that in action, I will show you the overview of the particular item, and then we will do that one step by step. So for example here, we will use this particular drop zone, the rectangle selected area. So I will just stop share this file. Okay. So here, for example, so I will show you the student mode regarding that particular assessment. So here, this is the student mode regarding the drag and drop quiz. So again, we will feature first the drag and drop markers. So if the learners will take this one, so we will just click the drag and drop quiz, and then click the attempt quiz now, and then start the attempt. So here, this is the structure of drag and drop markers. So again, in here, the indicator is that, okay, I will just make it long. I will make it zoom. So here, so you just drag and then drop in any spaces within the drop zone. So you can drag it here. Again, the indicator for this one is the circle with the target icon. Okay. Example here, I will drop this one, and then here I will drop this one. Again, there's no minus points. For example, makuha siya layo or kay siya. Again, ang i-base niya ani is kanang drop zone. So kanang circle with the target icon. Okay? And then here, so that will be your specific specific arrangement of your choices. And then here, you need to specifically correct this one. So for example here, you just simply go inside the circle, okay? Properly put that one in the circle part in order to get a point, because that is the predefined areas or markers in that particular diagram. So which means that you can work in detail, like for example, you prepare an arrow with a drop zone, or just simply put a diagram with a specific indicator that needs to be dropped in that particular area. So example here, you will drop your answers in the circle point. Okay, so that pertains that you will use this particular shape is circle. Okay, again, the indicator for this one is we have the target icon. Okay, so that pertains to the drop zone or the predefined areas. So now let's put that one in action. So here I will add another quiz. For example, this is your quiz. So I will basically add this particular item. So for example here, Okay, here, this is the quiz. And then I will just simply add a quiz item. And then I will add drag and drop markers question type. So I will click the add and then new question. In here, I will just simply use the question type. The question type is drag and drop markers. Click the radio button and then click the add. So in here, we just simply put the this particular drag and drop markers. This is Earth diagram. And then here, you will just put the instruction. So labeling. This is worth 4 points. Okay. So again, if you have your file, so just simply copy paste your instruction or okay here. Okay. So your instruction. Provided image. So again, this will be your instruction for the drag and drop markers. So you have your instruction there. And then here the default mark for the drag and drop markers. So example, I have 4 points or 4 items. In here, you need to put it 4, okay? The highest possible score in that particular item. And then you scroll down. And then here, we go to the preview, okay? In the preview section, okay? This will in the preview section, this part, okay? This is the preview section. In the preview section, click the background image button, okay? Here, choose a file. This is to upload an image. So the larger images will be displayed at a maximum image size of 600 by 400 pixels. So if you click here, this is will in here you will give a specific diagram or maps or picture or drawing of that particular labeling type. So for example, you prepared already your edited photo. So you just simply browse that particular file. So click choose a file and then you browse according to the location of your file. So for example, here. So in here, this will be my file. Okay, so this will be the edited diagram. So for example, you can work this particular diagram in PowerPoint and save that one as an image, or you can also use a Word file and then particularly save that into an image type. And then you click here your file for the diagram. So you click open and then you upload this file. So this pertains to the diagram. So as you notice, we have the accepted file types. So this is in image. So you can include GIF, JPEG, PNG, and then more on SVG file. So again, this is image file. So here, I also placed the drop zone here. So this is plain image, okay? So here, you already have the image in the preview section. So We just simply minimize that one, and then we proceed to the markers section. In the markers section, so in this part, in the drag and drop markers, you will add the words you want the students to drag onto the areas you selected. So which means this is now the option. Okay. So for example here, I have, this is the first option. So example crust. So the number drop down here specifies that you can select the number of times the markers can be used. So if that is only one, so automatic, if your marker one is already been selected, you cannot do it again, or you cannot use it again. So for example here, take note that select one means that when it has been used once, it will no longer be available in the list. Okay. And it is fine to leave the numbers as default, so unlimited, so or infinite, so which means that it just means each markers will stay or will still remain once it has been used. So again, it's up to you if you want this one to have a destructor, so you can specify the number of markers or the number of times the markers can be used. So in this case, I will just simply use one. Okay. So for example here, another option, and then one. Okay. Then outer, and then one, and then for inner, core, and then one. Again, so please take note. Again, please take note that the number drop down specifies the number of times the marker can be used. So this, they can use this particular markers only one. Okay, or once. So in this part, we have 4 choices. Okay, and then if you're done, then you can minimize the markers section, and then you proceed right away to the drop zone. You click the drop zone, and then you will select the shape. So in this case, since your shape will be based on the preview section, you will see your background image. So this is more on rectangle in every drop zone. So I will use the shape rectangle. So here you have the option. We have 3 options regarding the shape: circle, polygon, or rectangle. So in here, I will just use the rectangle because this is based from this particular image or the diagram. And then your marker or your options. So example here, I will first do the crust. Okay, you click the crust, so that's your option. And then here you can see an indicator in the preview section. You can see here the crust. So in crust, you can simply drag and then drop that one to the drop zone. And then you can extend by simply clicking the blue square. Okay, the blue square. And then you can simply give it your predefined areas to be dropped. So for example here, this part, so if your drop zone is hit in this particular area, then your score, you will have a correct score, or you have marks for that particular area or points. If you want to adjust, so just simply drag and then drop. Okay, use the circle and then drag and then drop. If you're satisfied with the drop zone area, so that's good. Okay, then you will proceed to another option. So for example, here you will proceed to the second option. So you will use again the rectangle, and then you click the option, second option, that's mantle. And then you can see here the indicator in the preview section. So just click on the option, the circle, the red circle, and then drop it to the drop zone according to your diagram. And then to enlarge this one, so just click the blue square, and then drag that one, and then drop. Okay. So that will be the scope or the predefined areas for the mantle or your second option. And then next we have the third option. So example here, you have the outer. Okay. So let's see if na wrong spelling ang imong na wrong spelling ang outer, so you just go with the markers. Okay? So you can double check lang sa spelling if na wrong. Because here in the marker drop down, it will basically follow with the markers section kung saan imong gi-indicate. So example, marker, and then you can see here marker, and then just simply drag and then drop that one to the location, the correct location, and then extend by just simply clicking the square, the blue square, and then drop. And then we go to the last part. So we have the drop zone is again rectangle, and then here we have the last drop zone, and then we will just simply drag and then drop and then extend. So just click that square, and then you can see we have the blue square. You just simply drag and then drop. So basically that's how you create your predefined areas in the drag and drop markers. So you have here the cross, so that will be the predefined areas and so on. So if they will go outside in that particular area, they will get a wrong answer or no points at all. So make it sure that you drop that specific marker in that drop zone or specify predefined areas. So the basis for this one is you will have the icon of the target icon, okay, the circle with the 4 plus sign. So the target icon that pertains to the the actual scoring of your drop zone. Okay, so in here you just simply create a boundary regarding your choices. So here you set the correct boundary for the choice 1, choice 2, choice 3, and choice 4. Okay, and your learners will just simply drag and then drop that one to the specific location. And if you're done, so let's have a review first. Okay, so again, so the first part in the drag and drop markers is you give it a name, and then here the question text is basically your instruction, and then the default mark is how many points in this particular diagram or labeling type. So if that's worth 10 points, so you put 10. If that's in this case, we have 4 points, so we give it a 4 points score. And then we proceed right away with the preview section. In the preview section, so basically we just simply add the image. Again, please take note with the image format. You can use GIF, JPEG, PNG, and for advanced SVG, if that is available in your image format. Okay, and in here I just simply use PNG and JPEG for this one, and make it sure that your background image, you should edit this one in Canva, or you can use PowerPoint or Word, but make it sure you save that one in an image format or JPEG or PNG. And then you just simply scroll down and you look for the markers. So markers means the options, okay? You can shuffle the items or you can shuffle the choices. So choice 1, choice 2, choice 3, choice 4. So that pertains to the marker. And then here the number. So again, this pertains to the number of times the marker can be used. So here we will use 1. So mayusa siya once. And then if you're done with the markers, you go to the drop zone. And in that drop zone, this is now the selecting the boundaries or your predefined areas with your correct answer. So example, that one, your marker 1, marker 2, marker 3, and then marker 4. And then you will just simply extend this one by just using the small blue square. So just like this one, drag and then drop that one to extend the size. So that pertains to the drag and drop markers. So if you're done, you just minimize the drop zones and then you click the save changes. And then you can preview it by just simply clicking the magnifying lens. So you just maximize, and then here you can see here you have this option. You just simply drag and then drop to that particular location. And then if you want to try fill in the correct responses, so automatically they will get this particular scores, okay, according to your predefined areas. Again, the basis for this one is you have your target icon. It's not more on the square or rectangle pertaining to your choices, but here this is based on the circle, the checking of your correct answer. Based on the circle, if you hit the predefined areas or the drop zone. Okay, so basically that's the labeling. Okay, so that's the labeling part pertaining to the drag and drop markers. So which means in the drag and drop markers, you need to create boundaries for your correct answer. If it does not hit the boundary of your correct answer, then your answer is wrong. Okay, so that's the drag and drop markers. And next, I will proceed with the next slide here. Question so far in the drag and drop markers. Question so far in the drag and drop markers. Okay, so again, in the drag and drop markers, first you need to have your diagram or your picture that is edited already with the drop zone. We have the indicator, you can use the arrow icon, and then you have the different shape as long as you have your drop zone, because that will give your student a hint that they will drop that particular markers to the specific area. So just like this one, they will drop this one in the inside, okay, inside that particular rectangle box. And then here in the in the next image, they can also indicate that they need to hit these particular markers inside in that circle. So again, you can use the drag and drop markers with any shape. We have the three, we have the rectangle, circle, and then polygon. So now let's proceed to the drag and drop onto image. If you have questions or clarifications, okay, I guess none. Okay, thank you. So now let's proceed to the mySOUL drag and drop onto image. Okay, so here, this is the example for the drag and drop into image. So again, the needed uh, file there is you have your image file and then you have your choices. So in here, this pertains to the drag and drop into image, but this is more on the draggable text. So your draggable text here, this is more on a rectangle part. The choices or the text options is in rectangle box wherein you can include plain text. Okay. And then here, this will be your background image for that particular labeling type. So you have your question in a background image, and that requires a draggable text. And another part is you can have drag and drop onto image with a draggable image. So here your image options, uh, basically in here, I just simply use the buttons for the choices. So you can incorporate images for that. Again, in adding image, again, follow the format. You have PNG and then JPEG. And then here, all you need to do is you just simply drag and then drop that one to the placed holder. Okay. So in this part, you can see also here in the drag and drop onto image draggable text, you can see we have also the placeholder. So if we compare it to drag and drop markers, the drag and drop markers, you need to specify the predefined areas. But in this drag and drop onto image, this is already have the predefined areas, which the indicator of that is you have your placeholders. So example, if that is text, then they will have this rectangle box placeholder. And then if you go to image, they will also get the same. This is more on rectangle box, but this pertains to your choices if that is draggable text or draggable image. Okay. And then if you want to have it complex or combination na siya, so you can do it in this way. So you can include the text and image option. So which means that you have option A and option B. So which means you have here, you have example in this particular labeling. So you will have the flags for option A, and then option B pertains to the country. Okay, so they will just simply drag and then drop to that specific location. Okay, so basically we will do first the text and then so on. If we have time, we will do the remaining drag and drop into image examples. So here I will just show you first the example drag and drop onto image. Okay, so just give me a minute. Okay, for example here. Okay, so this is the view for the student. So we will see the example for the drag and drop onto image. So here I will just click my virtual classroom. Then I will click the quiz. And then I will just reattempt. Okay. This is the drag and drop markers. Then proceed to the next. So this is the sample now with the drag and drop onto image. So which means that you will indicate it in a placeholder, the rectangle, the rectangle I the rectangle box, so that pertains to the placeholder of the text. So for example here, in the lower part, this will be the choices. So you just simply drag and then drop, drag and then drop, and then drag and then drop, and so on. So that's the drag and drop onto image in a text or draggable text. But if you do that in image, so you can simply drag this particular image and then drop it to the specific uh, label. Okay, drag and then drop it to the area. Okay, and then next. That is drag and drop onto image. That this is more on draggable image. And then here, this is the combination. Okay, this is now in the labeling part, but it's more on the drag and drop onto image with a combination of draggable text and draggable item, or draggable text and draggable image. So example here, for example, Philippines, and then here you just simply choose from the group A, and then we have here the group B. So example, this is Philippines, so this is worth, in that case, how many points? So this is worth 22 points. Okay, for that example. So that will be the example or overview of the learners regarding your drag and drop onto image. You can use draggable text here, draggable text, or you can use the draggable image, or a combination of those two, draggable image, and then you have your draggable text. So to make that one into our mySOUL, so I will just show you the teacher mode. Okay, this will be the teacher mode. So here we will just simply add this particular quiz regarding the drag and drop onto image. So just click add, and then you click new, and then here we will use the drag and drop onto image. Okay, drag and drop onto image, and then you click add button. Okay, and then you give it a name, so drag and drop into image. This is more on draggable text, for example. So this is more on text. So here, and then your instruction here, need to place your instruction. So you just simply copy the file, copy the text in the file. For example, if you have file in MS Word, so just simply copy and paste that one in our mySOUL. Okay, for example here, and then here, this is your instruction. So you just simply give it a point. So for example here, this is more on instruction part. So example, this is worth 7 points. You have your 7 points. And then here, you just simply provide the question. You have simply provide the instructions. So this is worth 7 points for the labeling. And then you have your instruction. I will just take note this one. Like brief instruction. And then here you have 7 points. So 7 is the default mark. And then here we have the preview section. In preview section, you need to add that particular image or the diagram. So for example, I already prepared a diagram. So I will just simply browse that particular diagram or choose that file. So for example, I save that one in this part, okay? This is the sample diagram. And then I will just simply upload this file. So you can scroll down and you can see here, there's no indicator that I properly label it in this particular diagram. So you need now to add the choices, okay? So again, in the preview section, you just simply add that particular background image. And then you go to the draggable items, okay? You click the draggable items. So I will just hide this preview section. And then I will just go to draggable items, okay? Draggable item 1, okay? So in here, okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so here in the draggable item, so draggable item section, you can upload images, okay? If you have leave the type as draggable image, okay, so you can upload a particular image if that type is in draggable image. If that is draggable text, okay, you can have it words, okay? You can type the words for the draggable text. So in this case, we will use the very basic labeling in the drag and drop into image. We will use the draggable text. So here in the draggable items, so our draggable item 1, the type is draggable text. And then we will group that one as group A, okay? So here the text will be the choice. So for example, you have the choice. Example, this is sender. And then you have here draggable item 2, another choice. So we will use the text. And then here, use this particular, we'll use the text field, draggable text again. Then here we will use the text field. Okay, and then draggable at 4, draggable text. We will use the text field. Another, so draggable text. So we have and then here you have, and the last one, if you have more items, so you just click the blank for 3 more draggable items. Okay, you just scroll down. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, And the last part, we have 7. So draggable item, 7. So draggable text. And then you have the text is the last one. So here, so make it sure that all your draggable items, so this pertains to the option, okay? So you have here draggable item. So this is the scope, okay? If you want to include an image, so you click draggable image and then you choose a file of that particular image, okay? But in this part, we will use draggable text. So you just click here, click the type and then draggable text. So again, there is one option, okay? One option for each draggable item. You can choose draggable text or choose draggable image. If you will use the draggable image, so use the choose a file icon and then save that, then look for the images. And please take note that these are the predefined accepted file types. We have the JPEG, PNG, and then the GIF. And for the plain text, so you just simply encode the words. So I choose draggable text, so I just encode the words from the text field. The same goes to the rest. So draggable item 2, I choose draggable text, so I encode the words in the text field and also the rest. So if I'm done with that one, so I will just minimize this particular draggable items. And then I will go to the drop zone. Okay, you click here the drop zone, and then you will start with the drop zone with 1. Okay, example, this is the option 1, sender. So the sender is located at the top. So what's the draggable item? Draggable item, this is in text. So I will drop this one, this part. This is the sender predefined area. And then here, your encoder. So here, and then 3, 4, 5, 6. So if lacking siya usa, so just click the blank for 3 more drop zones. Then you scroll down, and then here 7. So you can just simply drag and then drop, drag, and then what's the feedback location? So here, and then the noise. Okay, here, receiver, decoder. Okay. So unlike drag and drop markers, you need to specify the drop zones or the predefined areas. In here, you have already the placeholder in rectangle box. Okay, so that's the difference between the drag and drop markers and to drag and drop onto image. Because in the drag and drop into image, they will have a placeholder in a rectangular box. Scroll down, and then if you're done with the location, that's the proper location, then you just simply click the save changes button. Okay, if you want to preview it, so just click on the magnifying lens, then you just simply minimize, and you can see here we have the placeholder. So all you need to do is just simply drag the text to the proper location. Okay, so for example, I will fill in the correct responses, then automatically it will reveal the correct response. So again, it's up to you on how you will use the drag and drop marker, drop and drop markers question type, and drag and drop onto image question type. Again, in the drag and drop onto image, you can use 3 ways. you can use the draggable text, draggable image, or the combination of those items or those draggable items, the text and the image. So that's basically the importance of having drag and drop into image and drag and drop markers in a labeling type of exam. Again, these two types is more on objective type. So basically, it's more on recalling and supplying those specific items or those specific questions. So questions or clarifications. So questions or clarifications. So questions, Sir Steve, is there a question?
Yes, sir. We have questions from Sir Luxin. What
Okay.
would be your recommendation about this kind of problem? Kaning sa quizzes, exams, some of our students encounter problems wherein they cannot drag the answers on the box even though they are using laptops.
So basically the common problem is that first, again, this is applicable only for easy access or answering. You need to use laptops or desktop. So you will not use your smartphones for this one in order to take. And then properly for the drag and drop markers properly labeled. So first is how how's okay. So the first thing is you should create a diagram. Okay, in that diagram, so you should specify that particular drop zone. So by the time you are making the drag and drop markers, so you will just only set the boundaries inside that particular questions. So just like as I show you earlier, that I have a diagram and then I just simply put an arrow icon and then put a circle, and then I just simply add I will just add a text that this is pertains to the drop zone. So in that case, if you are doing the drag and drop markers, the circle that will be the indicator if your answer hits the preferred or predefined areas of uh, your correct answer. So if wala kay properly labeled palang daan or sa diagram, so maglibog ang estudyante. So that's why uban is dili ma-recognize to siya as the correct answer, because you don't have for example properly label it. So kana lang siya. So sa drag and drop onto image, wala the problema kay we have already placeholder wherein they just simply drag and then drop. And then before deploy your question, so just double check first if that's workable or that's properly working regarding your markers or your draggable text or image. So I hope I answer your question, Sir Jule. Okay, thank you, Sir Jule. Questions or clarifications? Again, this is more on objective type and it's recalling or supplying type of question in our mySOUL. So basically here, we just simply focus on the three. So we have the drag and drop markers, and then we have the drag and drop into image. with those different druggable items. Questions or clarifications?
Sir Fred, good
Yes,
afternoon.
yes. Good afternoon, Ma'am
I've
Marlene.
tried using that drag and drop into text. Okay. Now, what happened was they could drag, but they could not drop to that particular what was that predefined area if the answer is wrong. If they are going to place that particular answer to the wrong area, it will not drop. So
Drug.
how
What's the question type, ma'am? It's drag and
drag
drop.
and drop into text.
In this case, ma'am, we will use simply in the drag and drop onto image and drag and drop markers. So lain po do siya nga type, ma'am, nga exam.
Okay.
Silbi kato siya is more on bracket man to. If I recall, bracket
okay.
bracket 1 bracket bracket.
Oo niya. Dili siya sir mo kumbaga advantage for the student. It's because if wrong ang answer, oo na siya clue kay dili man siya mo drop, ma-drag nila but if wrong,
okay, ma'am.
drop.
So muna siya, ma'am, if you can drag but ang cases ana, ma'am, is nag-group nimo siya, ma'am, like nag-group nimo siya into group A, group B. So lain-lain mag-sizes sa drag and drop into text kay kung mabina na siya mapayaan ni ma'am mo. Like for example, here I will just show you example. Inani siya mapaya siya ginani siya nga kuan, ma'am. Kani kakita na, ma'am? Makita na siya, ma'am?
Yes sir,
okay.
Yes sir.
So as you take a look, kaning flag that is in group A. So as you can see, ang size pud niya is pareha tanan. Kung group B na siya, malain na pud ang iyahang size, bisag ilan ang i-drag dili man siya mapunta didto.
Dili siya mo drop.
Oo, mo drop didto kay di man siya pareha og size. Kana siya is based na siya basically sa imohong group of choices. Kani siya is group A is for the flags and group B is for the countries. Inana siya nga part. So medyo sa drag and drop into text to siya, ma'am, sa?
Yes sir.
Into text. So dapat pud nimo siyang i-specify kung asa siya nga group na belong o asa siya nga choices. Kay bisag unsa nila drop na dili Japon siya mabalik ka Japon siya.
Di mobalik siya sir.
Mabalik,
Dili ma-drop. Yes, ma-drag but then dili ma-drop.
Yes,
so na
di siya ma-drop.
na sila hint nga wrong ding answer kaya man mo dawat.
Kani siya is good ni siya kani siya nga part as in drag and drop onto image. Ako siyang giduha nga part kay nasa lay answers sa flag and then napo sila answers sa country. Kay kung ako ni siyang gi-group area tanan, mag-square ni siya tanan.
Kay usa lang.
Kay usa lang siya. So kani silbi 2 points each ni siya. So example, you name the country and then name pod sa flag.
Okay.
But kani siya individual scoring pod Japon ni siya.
Kato siya sir, individual gihapon to pero diha ko na nga halangan nung dili siya mo drop. Ma-drag but then dili ma-drop kung wrong ang answer.
Yes. Okay. Nakuha na misplaced to siya kung asa siya na belong nga group.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Ma'am Marlene. Questions or clarifications? Okay. I guess none. So for now, I will just, before we end, I will just add you in our virtual classroom regarding the attendees for this session. So just give me a minute first. So in this part, so I activate now the assessment tree, and you have here the questionnaire regarding the webinar. And then if you're done with the questionnaire, then you will receive your certificate of participation right after you answered the questionnaire. For this part, Sir Steve, do you have slides to share on?
Sir. For the announcement for the week 5, using varied question type in mySOUL, our resource speaker is no other than also is Sir Fredley Bukog. Sir Fred, for the next week of our upskilling. So next slide.
Okay,
Before we will end, please, if your connectivity allows you, please open your video camera for the photo opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, photo opportunity na ta.
All right, we have one frame. So hold on for a few seconds with your best smile for the best shots. Okay. Sir Jewel, good afternoon, sir. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, smile. Again, 1, 2, 3, smile. All right. Thank you, everyone, for attending this afternoon session. Allow
Thank
me
you.
to share my screen again.
Thank you very much
Sir
for
Fred.
attending. Thank you. And see you next week for another upscaling session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sir Fred and
Thank
Sir
you.
Steve.
Welcome.